you ready?
Yeah. Hi everyone, good morning. Today I am going to talk about my experience with the interview. Before I start, I will divide my speech to three parts. First, what happened before the interview, and second part will be about the interview, and the last part I will talk about the most things that surprised me about the interview. So first, how I made the interview. Actually, I faced difficulty when I was trying to set up the interview. When Ethel gave us this assignment, I just opened the DU website, and in order to find any information about any professor to contact with them. And I sent an email to 5 of them, and actually I waited for 5 days and no one responds me. After that, I decided to go to the department where I found the administrative assistant, and I explained to her what I want, and she gave me her email to send my information to her in order to make an appointment for me. And so I just waited for 2 days maybe, and she didn't send an email for me. So and I had just 2 days to submit the SA on Blackboard. So I decided to call her, and I think she forgot about the email. So she when she answered me, she made the appointment immediately with the Professor Phil Danielson in last Tuesday. And during that week, we prepared the questions with Ethel. And second part, the interview. Actually, the professor was taking the time out of a very busy schedule to meet with me, so we just spent 15 minutes. And the questions were about the type of requirements, writing, and the problems that international students have faced. So, for the requirements, graduate students are take some core classes that teach them fundamental information about molecular biology and cell biology. In addition, there are some requirements classes which teach them how to do comparison statistic. And also the student take online class about which called responsible conduct in research. It's about fraud and ethics. That means how to avoid fraud and apply ethics in signify research. Moreover, the students are required to read original research reports about professional leadership. For writing, I have learned from the professor that the most important thing in writing is logical flow. That means sentences construction. So it must has a good beginning that summarize the paper, then a body that include clearly details and logical, and lastly it must has ending that repeat what they said in the paper. In addition, the accuracy of the content is very important to write research, in addition to correct grammar and spelling. For the problem that international students have faced, of course, the speaking is the most challenge for international students. And he said even if their language are very perfect, in some cases, in the stressful, which is the stressful situations, they faced a language problem. And for example, of stressful situation is the short time of test. And his advice were that the international student should should take any opportunity, should find any opportunity to speak English with friends or with American people, or to watch TV, and in order to to improve their language. In addition, inside class, they should work with a group that have different countries, so they are forced to speak English with them. The last part I want to talk about it is the most things that surprised me in this interview. Actually, he said that the international students have no trouble with reading and writing, so the best way to communicate with them is through email, just to make sure it is clear what he wants them to do. In addition, for undergraduate students, they are required to read books. However, for graduate students, they are required to read just journal articles. And if they have any questions in that they want the answer of this question, they will find it in books. So in this case, they will use the book. In conclusion, this was my experience with the interview. It was really interesting to learn that I have learned important information from this interview that gave me an overview about the major for graduate students and how the professors think and what is the important requirements to be successful students. And that make me feel I am almost ready for graduate program. Thank you.